everyone. It's Andy Glen here at Sharks TV. Thanks for joining us tonight. Got Martin online with me to have a little chat about things. Good evening, Martin. How are you doing?
Evening, Andy. I'm good, thanks. How are you?
I'm doing okay. It's been a busy couple of weeks for yourself and for the Sharks. We've got our fixtures out, the league sorted. What have you been up to the last couple of weeks?
Yeah, as you say, it has been busy. I think that's the thing. Restrictions kind of slightly starting to ease, and as a board, we've been able to get back round the table and start to plan a little bit more. I think we were all very frustrated with just having to wait around the whole league structure getting finalised and confirmed, and we had to be patient with that, as did all teams. But that's now out there. We know our opposition. We know there'll be a cup competition. As you say, there we know our fixtures. I mean, I think we will hopefully add potentially a couple of, whether it be cups or challenge games or something in there, depending on a couple of other teams' situations throughout the season, so we can hopefully add some more excitement to the games we've already released. Of course, the boys are back on the ice. And that's probably the most, for them particularly, it's the most exciting part, because I think just like everybody else, whether it be a supporter or certainly a player, everybody was missing hockey as much as the next guy, and obviously for the players, it's one of their passions. It's one of the things that they love to do. So they've been able to get back out on the ice. A wee bit of practice, a bit of pre-season fitness has started now. And for me, I've obviously been busy with that. Also busy redirected with the job still. So I mean, I think the hard bit is still trying to work full time around the whole hockey side, junior and senior, as well as being redirected and helping with the whole pandemic that we're in with the council. It's been tough, but it's obviously been enjoyable, and I think we're slowly starting to make some strides and get there, and now everybody's looking forward to getting some news, I guess, and then seeing the boys on the ice.
Absolutely, and you've been busy with GB hockey as well. I believe you were down in Sheffield the last couple of days.
Yeah, we had a couple of identification camps through the summer, one in Sheffield, one in Dundee, and then we just had a camp there in Sheffield. So I was down there Wednesday, Thursday. I had a little look on the Wednesday at some of the 18s prospects, and then we had our own camp for the 20s Thursday. That was good. It's always good to get away with the national team and just work at that level, see what kind of talent we've got coming through in the country. Obviously, for our own club's point of view, Liam was there, and as always, goes and gives everything he's got, which is, I guess, for the national team or club coaches, all you can ask for any player. I mean, we go away in December to Romania, so it's exciting times, and we kind of get to the business end of our selection process with that. So, yeah, busy, but obviously we're one of the lucky ones who are still able to go about our business now and work like that. So, yeah, it's fun.
Things are getting back to normal, and we had that alumni game a couple of weekends ago. I have to say there was a lot of fans there. The ones that could go were there, and it was actually, in part, some people were quite emotional to get back into the rink. It was great to see, and we had great fun that weekend.
Yeah, I mean, if I'm honest, I wouldn't say I was gutted about having to put equipment on and play. I certainly don't miss that part, but I would have loved to have been at the game, and I would have played some part for sure. Thankfully, I was able to go at night and catch up with a lot of the boys. Little function that we had, but I was in Dundee delivering at a coaching seminar. So unfortunately for me, not able to get there. But I've heard nothing but good things about it. I know it was sold out in terms of the amount of tickets that were allowed to use as that test event, and I think people have been waiting a long time. People have been waiting a real long time for this, and it's understandable that there would have been a lot of mixed emotions out there. Even just seeing some of the older players, it would have brought memories back, as well as the difficult time that not just the region, but or the world, I guess, has seen. So it's no, it was nice. It was nice to be able to be part of something, even if it was just for me at night, and hear so many good stories, even for the boys that were playing and had come back. That I mean, they loved being back on the ice, and just the whole kind of camaraderie of it all, and a little bit, I mean, minimal because of the distance at that stage, but a little bit of interaction with the fans, and to play in front of people straight away is the first thing would have been huge. So yeah, it was great, definitely a great thing.
It was great, and your own brother came over from Texas, and Pavel flew in as well. So and I believe we're going to be making this an annual event if we can. So that's something to look forward to every year now.
Yeah, I mean, Jamie and I have been speaking about it for a while, and one of the ideas actually did come around conversations that I was having with my brother. We speak obviously regularly and for hours on end, setting the world to right on hockey, and that North American idea of the alumni and kind of using the players that have played here, and I think people have always said that they really enjoy playing here. So it was, what can we do? Jamie's obviously big into his golf, and I think on Sharps TV we've had that bit of banter between him and some of the guys. But so it was it was a great thing with the golf day on the Friday, and then guys coming in and playing on Saturday. So the plan is to, as you say, to make that an annual event, hopefully a little bit bigger and better, and we can include a bit more interaction with the fans and stuff for the future. But I'm delighted to get the first one done, and hopefully the word will spread amongst a lot of the older players that didn't manage to make it for whatever reasons, and we can continue to grow that event.
That's great. There's been other things that have been happening in the last few weeks as well. Now we've got a new general manager that people will be aware of. James Hutchison's coming back. Do you want to tell us a little bit about how that all came around?
Yeah, I mean, I was actually on holiday at the time, and I know that obviously the board had the meeting, and unfortunately Michelle, with other commitments and things going on, was unable to continue in that role. And firstly, before anything, we thank her for the work that she done, and she was an asset to the club while she was in that role. But it was important for me, when speaking to Ian as the chairman, to try and see if we can get someone in certainly around the hockey side of things and the team side of things. And I had a chat with James. It was a name that just came to me because he's a guy I've kept in touch with since he played here, and I think the new role he has in his life with the game plan side of things just afforded him a little bit more time to be able to talk a bit more hockey. Him and I know Jamie speaks to him, but it was something. As soon as I kind of pitched a potential idea before it had to go, obviously, through the proper channels of the board and stuff, he was excited. He's missed hockey. He loved his time here, albeit obviously it wasn't a huge length of time he was here. He loved it, and he felt that he wanted to try and give back, and it's a role that he had genuine excitement for. So for me, I think, as a coach, you want to be able to work, as I have done with the general managers we've had here. Obviously, Rob Murray before that, you've got to have that trust and be able to work with them, and they've got to kind of know how you want things, and I've got to know how they want things. I think it'll be an exciting partnership. James is well respected. He'll bring a lot to the club. I think he was obviously very well liked and highly thought of, not only inside the dressing room, but for the supporters and around the rink and the town. So, I'm really excited to be working with James. I'm really excited that he's back, and I think once he kind of gets his feet under the table, so to speak, I think you'll have some big things coming. Try and take. I think his statements did it all to try and make us the best team, not only on but off the ice. And I think good times are ahead.
Yeah, we look forward to that. That'll be great. So let's go on to the main part of the chat today. So our fixtures are out, home fixtures are out, and we've got a friendly for the 28th, but you've got something a bit special in mind for those dates that we had for Marcus friendlies, I believe. Tell us a wee bit about that.
Yeah, Andy, the 28th probably comes too soon for a number of reasons, and mean, what we want to try and do with the friendlies is we want to try and play someone, ideally someone that we're not going to see throughout the regular or cup season, to give the fans somebody different. So we've got a couple of teams that we've been speaking to and that have made contact with us as well. But the 28th, for registration purposes and even player availability on both sides, is probably a little bit too early. But with us being back in pre-season, I think the plan right now, which will rubber stamp in the next kind of 24, 48 hours, will be to have an open session on that. Well, it'll be the Friday night, and there'll be a couple of sessions on the Saturday. So probably the Saturday will be the day that we'll say, we'll make it an open session. We can interact in a little bit more with the supporters. They can come and see the boys on the ice. We'll have a little bit of probably inter-squad kind of games and competitions going on as well as we start to look to getting closer to games, with the view then of also playing on the 4th. And we'll, hopefully be in a position to announce an actual opposition for that. But the plan is not to play on the 28th, and as you say, open that up to the public, open it up to our supporters, and have almost a kind of meet the fans night, open training night, and then play on the 4th, potentially 5th. Who knows? We might have to go away on the 5th if depending on who we play. But play on the 4th and then be ready as the puck drops in the 11th against Sheffield, so that we hit the ground running, and hopefully get our season off to a flyer.
That seems great. I'm sure there'll be a lot of interest in that. So that kind of brings us on to players. And I know it can be a frustrating time for fans when you see, every team in the league and the elite teams, there's almost a signing every day on social media. And you've always been very clear about keeping the powder dry and announcing things when things are in place. Now, just a $64,000 question. We've got a team. Are you able to name some of the players for the Sharks tonight?
Yeah, it is a frustrating time for spectators. I understand that, and I think it's probably an even more frustrating time for me because the phone's red hot. I'm trying to juggle things between obviously the kind of extra work I've had to do on my day job. Players, to be honest, a lot of players have been a little bit slow to commit right throughout in Scotland particularly, and then obviously the Elite League was due to start, so some of the guys that we had skating and maybe lined up in the kind of COVID lockdown side of it that we thought we might get to play in are going to go back and play in the Elite League and stuff. So right now, the answer to the big question that people keep asking, yes, we have a team, and yes, like every other year, we will have a competitive team. But we will be patient. We will make sure we get the right players for this team. I don't think it's just about quantity. It's always has to be about the quality guys, both on and off the ice that we bring. But tonight, I think we can certainly release some names, and I think we're looking at the back end. The back end tonight for got the goaltending, and the majority of our defence would be where we could start to release some names. Depends where you want to start.
That sounds fantastic. And then maybe later on in the week we'll get the forward line. So okay, let's over to you and tell us about our netminders.
Well, I think the main thing is we have consistency. We have a treble winning goalie coming back in Callum Hepburn. I think the big guy was a bit unlucky the last season with obviously we had Gary Russell, and when Callum's a great goaltender, as is Gary, and I think some of the bits where he's work and some of the games, the way they fell, he was maybe unlucky not to play quite as much. But I think what people forget is the last time we won a treble, Callum was our goalie, and he's here, he's hungry, he wants to play, and he's going to come back as our first part of the goalie tandem at this stage, and the second one at this stage is going to be there's going to be a short-term thing to start, as we've got another couple irons in the fire and looking at our options, but having spoke to to Glasgow and to Gareth Chalmers. Jordan McLaughlin is going to come in and has been skating with us at the moment with their permission. So he's going to come in a two-way till they get started, with them not starting till kind of probably mid-October, their training camp. Certainly their fixtures are November. So we'll use that to help Jordan get some game time and get some fitness, but certainly help push Callum and keep him on his toes and help our team. So at this stage we've got the two, but I would expect one, maybe even maybe two other goalies to be somewhere in the mix as we start to get closer to this season.
Coach Grubb, you're a tease. You really are. But great to have both Jordan and Callum back. I have to say, I saw Callum play against Dundee Tigers in Dundee, and how I think it was just after Christmas, 2 years ago now. He was outstanding in that game, and how he never got man of the match in that game was beyond me. But it was one of the best net-minding performances ever. So that's great news. I think everybody will be happy with that. If we move on to our defensemen now we kind of know one because Richard Bentham told us on Sharks TV that he was going to sign and he was going to play in D. You're going to tell us some of the other players we've got in defence.
Yeah, like you say, Richard decided to tell everybody a little bit of an exclusive himself, which is not a problem. It's one of the things that, with him now being a married man, being a father, he said he had that stint in Leeds. That lifestyle now is kind of bringing him back to ourselves. I think he had a great year in Leeds as a defenseman. I mean, most people knew him before as a forward, but right through his junior career, his GB juniors, he was a defenseman. So he sees the ice well back there. Good shot on the point. Can play in all situations for us. So as you say, that one was already announced. Probably the next one that's key for us, and it's a guy that has had so many offers to go to a lot of different places, and the higher levels as well, but due to a bit of work and education, and kind of wanting to finish naturally his education and his hockey education this year with us, we'll bring back Liam Stenton, which is huge for us. Obviously, I think he was a standout not only for ourselves, but I think the Clan fans, when you read through the messages that you could see online when he was playing there, it's very highly thought of. I think there's a lot of potential. And it'll be a big year for him. I'm going to push him hard. I'm going to expect a lot for him. There's discussions about him going kind of back the same way as he was, but that'll be stuff that may be confirmed between the two clubs later. But I think it's key for him to come back, and again, he'll play alongside Stuart Kerr, where last year that was our top 2D, that was our top pair, and that was a pair that we trusted to not only shut down teams' top lines, but also to put up some numbers. They're good together. I think Kersey's very underrated in terms of the poise he's got in the puck. He skates really, really well, and every year he just seems to be Mr. Consistency now and keeps putting numbers up. So and together they two, I think they played really, really well. They've got a nice understanding and partnership. They get along. So the fact that we can bring not only Liam but Kersey back, I think is a big thing for us. So there's certainly your first three. I don't know if you want any more right now.
Well, I'm always going to want more.
Well, I guess I can give you another couple right now in terms of our captain will be back. I think sometimes it's always expected. You see, Struan's a guy that's been here a long, long time. He's local. The passion that he's got for this club is phenomenal. And, I think sometimes it's taken for granted. But, I mean, as a club and as a team, we're delighted to have our captain back. He's an on-ice leader. There's a lot of work off ice for the club as well. And I mean, and he can play. He started as a forward. I moved him back to defence. Again, it's another one that sees the ice well for the back end. I think the ice opens up for him, and he's probably famed for, having that little skate forward and maybe the odd Maisie here, but yeah, I mean, I think he's good for that. He could shoot a puck. He can finish when he gets a chance. So always nice. I think it's always nice for a coach point of view to be able to tie up the captain and get him back. And thankfully we've managed to do that. And alongside Struan, with the experience he's got, we'll bring back Mike Thompson, a guy who, Mike missed a bit of hockey for a good few years, and then got that passion back and decided to come back. And his experience is invaluable. After losing Kyle Horn at the end of that season, where he was deciding to retire, and the whole COVID pandemic kicking in, you can, and I guess Hutchie, before that, you need an old stager that's in there, that's got experience, that's got composure, that's seen the good and the bad in the game. In the dressing room, his influence is huge. He works super hard on the practice. And again, I mean, people forget that Mike, in the early in his career, particularly, I mean, he was a Great Britain internationalist, so you never lose that kind of ability, and certainly the upstairs side of things, the way you can see and talk about the game. So bringing Mike back, I think also is important. He's maybe sometimes not played as much minutes in some of the games, depending on special teams and stuff. But he's definitely was always one we wanted back. And again, alongside him on the other side, the kind of younger end, we'll bring Ben Costry back. And again, this year for me, we actually had a conversation last week, Ben and I, where that kind of gauntlet's been thrown to him. That he's been on the team obviously a good few years now. He's been on the cusp of kind of grabbing ice time and forcing us to play him in more situations, and that's the challenge. Obviously, you got that everybody got that year taken away from them. So we want Ben to come out and use his size and use the ability that he's got, make a good first pass and take care of his own end, and really force us to play him more as well, because he's got the ability. And we trust him and believe in him, and he's a really good kid who, as I say, really does work hard. So we're delighted again that we can bring Ben back, and give us that, I guess it's consistency in the core of that back end that we've managed to keep. And then we're going to bring a new guy in. I know kind of we've brought Bentham back, but we're going to bring a guy called Christian Johnson to the club, who, if I'm honest, I've been chasing Christian for a couple of years. He grew up in Whitley, but played a lot of his hockey, and Sharks fans may remember him playing his hockey in Aberdeen. He was the captain up there in their SNL team. He's the quarterback to power play. He played a lot of minutes. He's played for Great Britain University team. I think played with Scotty Henderson in that team. So Christian has moved to the Glasgow area, and we've had conversations. He's been skating with us now, and really happy to bring Christian in. Really good guy. Again, a really good skater, which fits the philosophy that we have. He's able to skate, he's able to handle the puck, he's able to move the puck. He's played in all situations in Aberdeen. Like I mentioned, he quarterbacked their power play before. He's played penalty kill. He can be physical where he needs to. And it's one of them where he wants to be here. I mean, he wanted to come and play for us. And as I say, we've been trying to get him for a couple of years. Even tried to get him on a two-way with a distance before, just because I knew he could play and should be playing at that higher level. So we had a new piece to the back end there. I think that is a really strong defensive core. Again, there will be another one or two that we're discussing with both players and other clubs on agreements that we'll bring in to add to that core. But I think at the moment I'm really quite happy with that back end, the mixture of youth, experience, skating ability, size. Probably got a wee bit more size than we have had in the past. And I think I like what we've got there, and I think it's a good start for us as a team.
I would agree. I mean, just, all the players that you've run through their attributes, superb defence. Sharks fans are going to be delighted, and it's going to be great to see these guys play. Yeah,
I mean, I think, like I say, it gives us, they complement each other. It gives us a mixture of various attributes. It certainly does give us, I mean, Christian's a good size. You bring Bentham back, who's a good size. So we probably have added some size and strength at the back now. And we've got options, I guess, is the main thing. There's competition for places. There's options to, depending on who we're playing, depending on how games are going, to move things around. And as I say, we'll probably add still another one or two pieces to that back end, just to give us a little bit something different and something extra, hopefully, in there. But I think from anybody that knows, from when I came in 2008 to now, we've kind of always built for the back in that first season. First signing with the goalie, which was Gary Russell, and he become pivotal in us going on to win the Northern League that year. So, I think we've now got two goalies there, a good core at the back on defence that gives us, loads of options, a lot more depth. I think a lot more depth than we've had for a couple of years, and I'm excited. It's an exciting start, and obviously our new general manager, being a former defenseman, kind of chipped in with wee bits and helped in the short time he's been. So, no, I think we're excited to get going with that core that we've got on defence.
That sounds great. What we're going to do is we're going to tease all the Sharks TV fans because it's just as exciting to listen to the forwards. But we're going to do that in another few days' time. So enjoy the conversation, Sharks fans. Enjoy the thought of seeing your favourites playing back there. I'm sure we'll get lots of comments on social media about how good a defence. It's looking all really good skaters and players, so we're really looking forward to that. And then we'll do any forwards, we'll do that in a few days' time, and any later additions into the D-line as well. So thank you so much, Martin, for taking the time to run through the defence with us. You got any final messages for our fans before we sign off tonight?
Obviously, it's the same as always in terms of staying safe and healthy. Obviously, it's very important to us as a club. But just remain patient. I mean, it's almost that keep the faith. I appreciate your frustration. Believe me, my frustration's as high as the next person's, because we've had some no's. I mean, we've tried to sign guys and we've been unable to do some of it. We've seen other teams sign players and show their hand, but we've still got some stuff up our sleeve. I don't think, even in a few days, I don't think that will be our final roster that we'll be able to, that we'll put out, because we do have a few irons in the fire that may end up being a little bit special for us. But yeah, be patient. We appreciate your support, and like we've always done, we will try and give you the news when we can get it. And now that decor is and two goalies right now are announced, make sure if you want to own and loan a player's jersey, then get in touch, and hopefully we'll see everybody back potentially at the open night, and if not at the friendly as we look to get going. Okay,
thank you very much. Just one last question while I remember. There've been a few people contacted us through the channel just looking for prices, season tickets, things like that. You get any information on that just now, or is that something you want to wait a little bit longer on?
I think it's for the board probably to put out officially. I think I can probably say with confidence and without getting into trouble for Mr. Chairman and the board themselves that we did as a board agree very early that there will be a price freeze. I think not only the region, the country has been hit really hard with the pandemic, and I think as a board, I can only tip my hat to the board that they were never ever going to increase the prices. It was always let's try and help our fans as much as we can. So the price freeze will be there. I think it's stay tuned, and hopefully very, 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 very soon, in conjunction with speaking to the Ice Bowl themselves, we'll have hopefully some season ticket details and just confirming the prices. But yeah, I think we're probably can say at this. Well, I know we can say at this stage, and hopefully doesn't get me into too much bother, that we're going to price freeze so that we can try and get our fans back in as big numbers as we can. And obviously, we'll still be working as not only a board and a club and with the facility under all the guidelines for not only Sports Scotland but the Scottish Government to get people back as safe as we can.
Brilliant. That's another bit of good news for Sharks fans tonight. Thanks once again, Martin. We'll speak to you again very soon to get the rest of the signings. Thank you.
Thanks for your time, Andy. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Martin.